The Nintendo 64. A decent console. Not one of the best, not one of the worst. Over 450 games, which made it honestly feel like a small amount. Even still, I can't act like I've even played 1/10 of the games for the system. But for the most part, the ones that I played, I loved. So today I'm counting down my top 10 Nintendo 64 games with 2 honorable mentions to kick things off. Just a heads up, there are a few classics I haven't played yet, like Donkey Kong 64, Turok, Banjo-Kazooie, and a couple more. So they won't be up here. I'm keeping this list to what I have personally experienced, so let's get into it. The honorable mentions is Mario Kart 64. The jump to the 64 was a success. I enjoyed playing this game, but obviously not as much as I liked the top 10. But this is a good party game. While I do still like it, I wouldn't say I would pick this up to play on my own for more than a few tracks. All the tracks are good enough to me, but if I want to play a racing game, I would choose something else at this point. I also have NBA Hang Time. It's NBA Jam, but better. The exaggerated dunks, fast-paced gameplay, and the over-the-top announcers. You can pick your favorite team and play against all the other teams. Play against your friends or play with your friends against the computer. It's arcade fun, and even if you're not a basketball fan, you still may enjoy a few games just because of how absurd it is. Now let's get to the actual top 10. Coming at number 10 is Star Wars Episode 1 Racer. You know how a lot of movie tie-ins from the 90s were bad? Well, Star Wars Episode 1 Racer kind of broke that curse. This game was fast, it had F-Zero speeds. You could customize your pod racer a good amount, and at a point, there will be times where you absolutely have to, otherwise you won't be winning any more races. Even today, it holds up surprisingly well. I would say it's one of the best Star Wars games ever made, but I have played probably like one Star Wars game. Number 9, Rayman 2, The Great Escape. When people talk about 3D platformers on the Nintendo 64, Rayman 2 sometimes get lost in the shuffle, but it shouldn't. I love the atmosphere, the world is dark, colorful, and you can see how down and out everyone is since Rayman got captured. The controls were smooth, the environments were varied, and Rayman's abilities transitioned very well into 3D. I always like how Rayman 2 had its own cinematic quality. Even though you can find this on stronger consoles, I played it here, and it's one of my favorite games from Ubisoft.
Do something!
Number 8, Star Fox 64. Star Fox 64 shows Nintendo's quality. It took the rail shooter concept from the Super Nintendo and cranked it up with voice acting and branching paths. It left me wanting more of the story, more interactions with the team, with Star Wolf, with Bill. Even without it, the sense of teamwork between Fox, Falco, Peppy, and Slippy really added to the experience. This game might have been short and sweet, but at the same time, it left room for replayability. Number 7, Diddy Kong Racing. A lot of people remember Mario Kart 64, but Diddy Kong Racing is definitely the better game to me. And I stand behind that, don't care how many people may disagree. Either way, it blended kart racing, hovercrafts, and planes with a full adventure mode, complete with boss races and collectibles. It had a charming world, a great soundtrack, and characters like Banjo and Conker who went on to have great games themselves. I say they're like they're actual people, but you get what I mean. And if you didn't like adventure mode, you could just race or battle with your friends. I wish the game could have a remake or a remaster, but there's no way that's gonna happen. Number 6, WWF No Mercy. If you grew up with wrestling in the late 90s, you probably played at least one wrestling game. And if it wasn't from the Archives line, then you probably missed out. You know, World Tour, Revenge, WrestleMania, No Mercy. And WWF No Mercy was the crown jewel of wrestling games, period. It had deep movesets, a creative story mode, and gameplay that's still great today. You could create your own superstar, battle out for titles, and the amount of detail packed into the cartridge was insane for the time. Even now, you'll have a lot of people call No Mercy the gold standard. It nailed pacing and the drama of pro wrestling before modern games started doing whatever they're doing with it now. Number 5, The Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time. Some people may say this should be number 1. And to be fair, Ocarina of Time deserves every ounce of praise that it gets. But that's the point of this being my personal top 10 list. If I was trying to be unbiased, it'd be a different story. Anyway, it completely changed what 3D adventure games could be. From the moment you step into Hyrule Field, there's an overwhelming sense of freedom. The music, the dungeons, the time travel mechanics is all fantastic. So why don't I think it's number 1? Well, there's other games that, in my opinion, are just as iconic. Number 4, Super Mario 64. Speaking of revolution, Super Mario 64 didn't just start a new era, it defined it. Every 3D platformer since, you could almost say it owes this game. The way Mario moved, the open-ended level design, the camera system, it was all groundbreaking. It's one of those games that's still fun to pick up today. You can just jump into Bomb Battlefield or Cool Mountain and instantly feel a sense of joy. It's simple, creative, and endlessly replayable. Now this one is special. Majora's Mask took everything from Ocarina did and went in a darker, more emotional direction. The 3-day time loop added so much tension and atmosphere. Every character had a story, every moment felt meaningful, and the looming moon gave the whole game this sense of urgency. It's weird and uncomfortable at times, but that's what makes it so powerful. It's not just about saving the world, it's about saving the people in it and how fleeting time can be. Number 2, Super Smash Bros. 64. If you had friends and a Nintendo 64, you played this game. Super Smash Bros. Was pure multiplayer magic. Mario versus Link, Pikachu versus Samus. Some people might say they thought about these type of fights. I did not even once. But when I saw it as a commercial, I was like, holy crap, that looks like it's gonna be an amazing game. And guess what? It was, and it still is. Now for me personally, I used to play this game all the time with my friends. When people were playing the Dreamcast and later on Xbox and so on, I had the 64, and I remember talking to one of my friends and Smash Bros came up and he was like, y'all not good at that for real. What you talking about? Like, I smash y'all at that joint. Like, oh yeah, for real, break it to the house. Like, and then that's how I started. I brung it to my boy's house and had to be like 7, 8, 9 friends. Might be at his house at once. 4 controllers, but hey man, only one person gets to keep the controllers. Whoever wins, you the one that get to keep controllers. The other 3, you gotta give it up. So it was either Smash Brothers or go outside, play basketball. Then we might play basketball and then come inside and play Smash Brothers. Of course, we eventually start playing other games as well, like Halo was probably the biggest one. Other games like Soul Calibur or Marvel vs. Capcom 2, but Smash Brothers was the one like everybody liked to play. And even in later on in the years, when you get to Melee or Brawl, that was still a game we always picked up first. That's why this game is number 2.
Let's do it!
And going to number 1 is Pokemon Puzzle League. And this is not a joke either, so let me take you through my thought process on how I think this is rightfully number 1. I might have spent more hours playing this game than all the others combined. This is also the only game I can say that I have played every year since I picked it back up in my 30s. I rarely used to get 3 chains, and now I can get those easy. Sometimes I can get like 7 or 8 chains. But when Switch Online was announced, it was like, okay, cool, maybe I'll get it someday. But when they announced they got Pokemon Puzzle League up there, that was when I decided to get it. So no, it doesn't have the best storyline or anything like that. But, you know, if you play a game more than any other by far, it's kind of like, how can you not claim it's your favorite? So there you have it, my top 10 Nintendo 64 games, with a couple honorable mentions on the side. The Nintendo 64 was a console. It was full of experimentation and bold ideas. You know, it had the Rumble Pack and it had that expansion. But even if I missed some heavy hitters like Donkey Kong 64, Turok, Banjo-Kazooie, GoldenEye, I mean, it is what it is. I played the games I played. And so my top 10 is my top 10. But let me know what your top 10 is. What have you personally experienced? And what would you, if you had to take out 3 of my top 10 picks and put in your own 3, which 3 would you put in? Which 3 would you take out? Let me know that in the comment section, and I will see y'all all in the next video. If this gets any traction, people seem to like it, I'll do a couple of more top 10s. But for now, check out my retrospective list. I just did one on A Magical Quest starring Mickey Mouse. But if you want something a little more well known, you can try out my Mega Man X retrospective instead. Thanks for watching.